gang. Today what I'm going to do is take you through my pack that I was using to help out in the disaster area of the floods recently. So I was out doing multiple different tasks in different areas, and this is the sort of pack that I'd keep on me so I could be pretty much self-contained and have all the safety equipment that I needed, and hopefully enough equipment that I could get myself out of trouble too. So, I mean, this pack here is, you could kind of think of this like a grab bag, I guess. It's more of a disaster relief bag. It's just some of the things that I thought might be interesting to you if you were operating in and around these zones. What kind of stuff you might want to have on you. So obviously this is built for a specific purpose. This one in particular, I was doing a lot of chainsawing, tree felling, clearing, trimming, that sort of stuff. So it's geared towards that. I was also generally within maybe 2 to 3 hours walking from, you know, some sort of small town or some sort of help, or even phone communication. So I was out of phone communication for a lot of the time that I was operating with this, but it wasn't that unrealistic that I could make my way out, or somebody could make their way out and get to phone communications. So I'll just start pulling this apart. I'll start off, this is my Deuter Futura 26 litre pack. So as you can see here, that's the size of it there. It's a pretty lightweight pack. I like Deuter, I like Osprey's packs. They're probably my two favorite. It's got its own frame in it that actually sits up off my back. So that's an external mesh frame there, which I quite like. And I was operating in a very hot area as well. So up near Byron Bay, you know, subtropical zone, 30-degree days, very humid, obviously. There's just big flooding there. So you're at 100% humidity, rain, all that sort of stuff's happening. Okay, so on the outside here, this is a bit of protective equipment. This is actually a helmet, visor, and earmuffs. This one's steel to go with my chainsaw. So that's just got a little Velcro strap in there. And that's what I'll be wearing when I'm doing my chainsawing. So obviously I'm not gonna wear that all the time. It would be sweaty and cumbersome. So I just want to wear that and have that sort of protective equipment when I'm actually operating the chainsaw. I've also got gloves. I don't necessarily wear gloves when I'm chainsawing, but I've got slice-proof gloves or cut-proof gloves, and they're actually getting washed at the moment. So a lot of my gear was muddy in that. I've only been home for about 24 hours. So a lot of my stuff's getting washed. I haven't put it back in here yet. But gloves too, they're something you might want to consider, especially when you're picking up trees and moving them around, or logs and refuse and rocks and things like that, what we were doing to build little makeshift bridges so people would get across and get access in there. So gloves in the top here, just start up here. I've got a headlamp. So this one is lead lenser. I can't remember what one it's called, the H19R core, I think. I'm not really sure. They've got all weird names for them, but this is a super powerful headlamp. This one I think might be something like 1,000 lumens or 2,000 lumens, so it'll punch through the dark, but it's more like if I needed to get my way into small areas or underneath things, I could actually see what was going on, and then if day turned into night and I was still out there, then I'd have this. So a bit more powerful of a head torch. It might also be, might turn into a search and rescue while I'm out there. So that's quite handy. Food, so I've got plenty of food in here of different sorts. These are just like little protein bars, and I'd have probably about 2 or 3 of them in my pockets in here. And if you know, if I grabbed a sandwich or something, or some sort of food that was there at the start of the day, that would get thrown in there as well. On the outside here, I've got these clips here, which quite handy little clips. They're just little, I don't know what you call them, alligator or piranha clips or something. But you just clip one side to a pack, or I'd take them off and just clamp that on there, and then I can just stick my gloves in there when I'm not using them, and they're going to be secured. They're not going to fly off anywhere. And it's pretty obvious too, if they do fly off, then you can see them around. Nice attractive colors there. Water's a big thing. I had my Grayl Ultrapress out there that I was using quite a bit, so access to a lot of water, but not necessarily clean drinking water. So this will purify water. And on top of that, I also like carry other little water bottles. Or another optional extra, I didn't use it this time, but you could use it, is a water bladder like a Camelback or Osprey or similar. Just FYI, I always used to say Camelback, and it's kind of like synonymous to having that water bladder. And my last Camelback exploded in the pack, so their trust level is gone down, and they're kind of off the Christmas card list at the moment. Because I am out there clearing things, and it's a jungle type area. I've got this. This is a Gerber Machete. So I can't remember what name they've got for it, but basically just a nice, pretty small machete. It's lightweight. It's got the cutting or sawing on the back, and then a nice sharp blade. Enough weight in it that I can actually like hack into stuff and get through things, but not so much weight that it's going to be encumbersome on my back. And that's got its own scabbard as well. That's super important. Keeping that in its scabbard, you don't want that bouncing around and cutting your bag open or your limbs off or anything like that. On this side, like I cannot recommend you get one of these enough. This here is a brand called Silky. I'm not sure if you can see that. Silky Saws. This is the Big Boy, Silky Saw Big Boy. So this is just a fold out saw. You can see still covered in crap because I was using this a lot. Even though I had the chainsaw, sometimes it was inappropriate or difficult to get the chainsaw into certain areas. Or sometimes I had to like put the chainsaw down, make my way through bad terrain without having to carry that, and then cut little limbs and things like that. So this, through palms, which are a pretty lightweight tree, but palms like that sort of size, took me under 10 seconds to get through with this. Everyone that I was there with was like, whoa, what is that? So yeah, can't recommend this enough. Silky, this one's the Big Boy, but it's Silky brand, Japanese made, and they just work their ass off. I was so super stoked with this purchase. This one, if you're keen on getting one, you can get them from a number of places. I bought that one through Survival Supplies Australia. They do a whole heap of really good stuff for preppers and emergency sort of stuff. So check them out. Hopefully that'll do you a good deal. All right, down the bottom here. Oh, sorry. Also on the outside, communication. So this is a 5-watt UHF radio, and I just have it set up with one of these PTTs or push to talk sets. So that's set up on my shoulder there, and this is in the pack, or on that side, it's on the pack. So I can listen in to what's going on, and then just with one hand, press the button, speak, people can hear me. It was amazing how many people didn't have radios out there, but all the crews that were going out had at least one radio. So that means I can, program that into the channel here, and I can listen to what's going on and communicate with outside sources. All right, down the bottom here. This is a rain poncho. So a rain poncho that also can be set up like a tarp. So it's a tarp poncho, oddly enough. Just if it starts bucketing down, which it did all the time out there, if it starts really hammering down and will caught out in a bad way, then I've got some form of shelter that I can put over myself and my gear. And I've also got something that I can set up and keep a couple of people under it and keep them dry, or hand it out to somebody who's hurting if somebody's like suffering from exposure out there. All right, in the main compartment, first aid kit that I've got here is a trauma first aid kit. So that's got like a tourniquet in there, and in this main compartment, which is a little bit difficult to get into now that my dog chewed all the little tags off it, but that still opens up. Hate to do this in an emergency, wouldn't you? So that in that main compartment there, we've got like tapes, we've got triangular bandages, we've got trauma dressing, we've got gloves, trauma shears as well to cut clothing off. So it's all, this is actually designed around gunshot wounds and bullets. So I take this out to where, things go bang, but if I'm using a chainsaw, amputation or catastrophic hemorrhage is a chance of happening. So something like a tourniquet is definitely something I want to have out there. Then I've got my smaller first aid kit, my boo-boos kit kind of. So this has got like just smaller wound dressings, band-aids, things like that. This is a hiker one. You can get it at any like chemist or hiking store. Antiseptic stuff, little things for clipping up slices, alcohol swabs, splinters, a little bit of medication in there as well, so aspirin, paracetamol, all that sort of stuff. But pretty handy, likely things to have. More safety equipment, that's just a little vest, so I can chuck that on. So if I want people to see, you know, I'm operating in this area, or if I'm going out search and rescue and stuff like that, that people can see me, and you know, helicopters and things like that we're kicking around they can see me as well. All right, some more emergency sort of stuff. So this is a SOL, or Survive Outdoors Longer. Hey dog. Hey. A bivy bag, so if I needed to sleep out there, if I got caught out there and needed to sleep, that's something I can sleep in. Or if somebody was else was out there and needed to do that. This again is a SOL Sport Utility Blanket, but it's like a giant tarp that is reflective, is hard wearing, so I can actually use it to wrap someone in, or wrap, you know, things in and drag them out of the way. And it's like a reflective blanket as well, so it doubles as one of those little space blankets to keep you warm. And I just chucked in some extra stuff. There's a lot of snakes and things in that area, and some people had actually been bitten by snakes at that stage. So that was something. If I got hit by a snake, I mean, I'm wearing like big, thick boots. I'm wearing thick pants and things like that. The likelihood of me being hit by a snake is, or bitten by a snake, is not super high, but I'm carrying it anyway, just in case I do. And obviously I'm operating with other people too, so I need to look after them, or think about them at least. Second UHF radio, so I can actually hand one off to people and I'll be able to communicate them, or if someone within my team or party says they're going to go one area and I'm going to go another area and we need to coordinate that, then I can give them a radio. Because like I said, not a lot of people were actually carrying them. There were some people, but less than I thought would be carrying them. And a little bit of extra food as well. I've done a little review on that one. That's the Mayday survival ration bar, or the mini meal bar, 400 calorie bar. For me, this is sort of the thing that I would give away to someone because it doesn't taste super great. Getting towards the end now, the last thing I had more protein bars in here, but just a little whistle as well. So a light and a whistle for attracting attention. Little safety whistles, just so you can keep in communication. It's another form of communication outside of electronic means, that people can hear me. This is obviously going to be a lot louder and a lot more attention grabbing than my voice. Some people find my voice boring, apparently. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, whistle will travel a lot further than people will be able to hear you. So if you're sitting there whistling, good thing for if you need to be found. So that's basically the sort of stuff that I was carrying on me. You can see there, I've pretty much touched off on all the survival needs and my specific needs for work. So again, this is just a little snapshot of the things I was carrying day to day. And there's a couple of things too that I would put in as optional extras, depending on what I was doing. So for example, I could also throw in something like this, which is a little shovel that extends out. This keeps on my car, so for mud specifically, or even snow, I guess, but like a mud shovel for forward driving. Just strapping that onto the back like there, and I just bungee that on. And another thing that was pretty handy, this is a extendable walking pole, so this extends out and good for walking. It's actually from Mountain Designs. It's got a little compass in the top there as well, just a little extra safety feature if you're going to get lost or anything like that. Good when you're going up and down hills and things like that, and you've got old man knees and you need to keep yourself a bit more stable, so you've got that third stability. But especially like a lot of the areas that I was operating in and around had landslides, which is very muddy, and the mud is like powder snow. So I was watching people step in it, and I actually tried this out. I walked into a little part of it to see how bad it was and went straight up to my knees. And luckily I could turn around and grab my way out. But it's interesting to see that. So having something that you can actually poke around and test on the ground, if you're walking through creeks and things like that, this can help. Any sort of flood water that you can't see through. Again, you don't want to fall into any holes. So something like that, just strapped onto the side there is how I would have it. So yeah, this is the pack that I was operating in and around these areas with. and there wasn't really anything that I'd say I was needing for when it came down to it. I felt everything was necessary in here. There's nothing that I would really get rid of. Maybe some of these things, but if I had got caught in an emergency, then I'd definitely want these, so I probably wouldn't take them out. Yeah, but that's it. So let me know what you think. If you think there's anything that you would add. Again, this is specific to my tasks, so if you're doing different tasks, I encourage you to build your own pack based on that, based on your needs and your requirements. But if you've got any thoughts on that, let me know in the comments, and if not, then I'll see you guys next time. Semper Paratus.